So we're going to look at task 3 now. Task 2 you should have been able to do on your own. Task 3 is slightly bit different, but runs more or less similar to the previous 2 tasks. I'm just going to show it you to show that there are sometimes different ways of doing things and ending up with the same result. So in this example it says Tom owns and runs a small coffee shop and you work as his assistant. Tom needs to know the total income from the sale of muffins in a week, and he's provided you with the muffin sales data for the week. So let's see if we can find that file. If you remember, we go into I've got too many folders open here. I'm just going to close these for now. Into removable disk, into learner resources, into functional skills, and into these files here. And because it's task 3, we're looking here, and so we can see again there's lots of images, but there's 2 files here. There are Word files, and clearly this is the data file. So we'll look in here. Let's have a quick preview. Now in this one there is no prices for each muffin. So that is because in the instructions it actually gives you a price here. So this is slightly a bit different. So he has provided you with the muffin sales data and he wants you to calculate the total income from the sale of muffins in the file provided. And he's also told you that income is the total quantity sold multiplied by the price of £1.39 per muffin. So each muffin is £1.39, and we know how many of each have been sold. But what he's actually asking you to work out is the total income, the total income for the sales of muffins in a week. So it doesn't specify precisely, like in the last 2, that you do it in 2 steps. This one has just told you work it out in 1 step. But there are 2 ways we could do this, and I'm going to show you both ways. So first of all, we copy the data. So this one has a title in it, so we're going to copy that this time. So copy, open Excel. Oop, what's this? Don't need that. Open Excel again. I'm just going to paste it this time in the top corner and then just tidy up. Now notice how it's kind of made a little bit of a mess. It's made everything different line heights. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to try pasting again, but with this option here. And you can see sometimes that one's better. So I'm going to make all these wider. So I said there's 2 ways of doing this. I'm going to show you the way that you're more familiar with first, and then I'm going to show you a slightly shortcut way, let's say, but maybe a little bit more complicated to think about how it works. Some people prefer one way, some people prefer another. So we know the price of the muffins is going to be, I'm just going to close this, the price of the muffins is £1.39 per muffin. So in the other tasks we had a price column, so we had something like this, and then we would have a price. But because all the prices are the same, having a price column seems a bit unnecessary. Well, it can be, but it can also make things clearer. So one way to do this is to create your own price column, and just put £1.39. Oops. And then just replicate that. Oops, careful. I'm going to do the copy and paste way because it works better. And there, paste. And then we can kind of do it the same way as we did before. So we go income and equals this times this. And again, copy and paste. And then obviously we need to do a total at the bottom here and add them up just like before. Hopefully you did this in task 2 as well. So that's one way of doing it. What I'd also suggest in this particular instance is you put a pound sign on at least on the bottom one. Come on, what's taking so long? At least on the bottom one here, but also probably on these ones as well, because they're all to do with income. So it's a good way to do it. It's clear that we're talking about actual money here. So that's one way to do it. And that's perfectly acceptable, and you would get full marks for it. So I'm just going to undo this though. I'm going to delete all this. So I'm just going to clear contents and clear contents as well. Now the other way though is kind of not using as many steps. See, if you think about the last way, we used an extra step here and then added everything together at the bottom. And we also obviously adding in a new column as well. So we're going to get rid of this column as well. We don't need it. So the other way to do it is to just think, well, they're all £1.39. If they're all £1.39, why do we have to keep multiplying by £1.39 multiple times for each one and getting a total? We could just add up all of these, yeah, and figure out what that is, and then multiply that by £1.39. And there's two ways you could do this as well. We can do it all in one go, or we can split it into 2 steps. So we'll do the 2-step way first because it may be easier to understand. So first of all, we just work out how many we sold, how many muffins we sold. So we just go equals sum, and we just add up all these. And that will tell us the quantity that we've sold. Did I put a... Nope. So here we go. There's our formula. So we sold 2,694 muffins. So we'll put here, we'll put a little heading, muffins sold. And then in this next row though, we want to know how much money we made. So if they're £1.39, so we could put some kind of heading here like income at 1.39 each. And that would give us that makes it nice and clear so we know how much each muffin is. We could do it that way. I'm going to actually move that down. The other way you could do it is put a heading here, muffin price. So I'm going to do that. So we'll put £1.39 here. The reason why we do this, it's easy to change things if we want to later on. And so all we do now is we just multiply these two numbers. This multiplied by this. And it gives us the same result as before, £3,744. So because this is pounds and so is this, we should again format these to currency. We might even want to make these bold, or even make this bold. And also don't forget something like total income here. We can make that bold as well. And then it's nice and tidy. We may even want to split that slightly there. So it's nice and neat. So that Tom, is it Tom? Yes. Tom can clearly see what we've done. We've worked out how many muffins we've sold. We've stated what the price is, and then we've worked out what the income is. So that steps it into 3 parts. Now, the other way to do it would be, I'm going to leave this here, but the other way to do it is I'm just going to hide it actually for now. The other way to do it would be just to put total income and then work it all out in one quick step. It's a little bit more complicated to do though, because if you think about it, you've got to do everything all together. So you've got to add up all the numbers, then multiply that by the price of the muffin, and you've got to put that all into one formula. So equals, well, how do we add them all up? Well, we use sum. Okay, right. So that does exactly the same as what we did before, but we aren't finished. We need to improve on this formula. We need to add a little bit on the end, because we've worked out, this bit works out the total number of muffins sold, but we need to multiply this by the price of the muffin, which we have to manually now enter as £1.39. We should get the same result though. Yes, 3,744 and 66 pence. But this is harder to follow because the formula is more complicated, and it's not so obvious how it's been worked out unless you actually look at the formula. So again, format that to currency, and we can make this bold. Okay, so that's just showing you that there is a different way of doing this. So let's go back to here. So we need to make printouts. This is just the same as before. We need to make a normal printout and a formula printout. So you should do that. I'm not going to show you again. If you want to look at it, how to do it, go back to video 1 or to the earlier video, which shows you how to do this. That's all there is for this video.